You know, I have been a member since 1973. I was running a public relations and government relations firm in 1991 when I saw the announcement that Phil Boyer had been named president. And I thought at the time, wasn't that a wonderful opportunity? And of course, I've had a chance to watch him as a member, and he's been an outstanding representative for general aviation, and he's really represented all of us extraordinarily well. I think from back in time when I was in school and involved in student politics, I've been involved in politics and public policy certainly all my adult life. I came to Washington, D.C. with the Reagan administration. I spent 8 years in the White House working with President Reagan, working as Chief of Staff to then Vice President Bush. And I've just been engaged in Washington and actually out in the state level representing lots of different kinds of issues and organizations. So I hope, and what I want to do, is take that lifelong experience and put it to work on behalf of something I love, which is general aviation. And I think unless you've been out there in the trenches and working in that kind of environment, you can't really appreciate what you have to be engaged in. And so that experience, I think, will serve me very well. I know that, like Phil, I want to spend time with the members. I want to travel throughout the country, meeting our members, talking to people who aren't members about general aviation. I may do it in some different ways. We're kind of looking at the schedule and how to build some roundtable dinners, some hangar talks, find a few different kinds of ways to interact with members, perhaps. But that part of what has been done, I think, is very important. Maybe there's a little more emphasis on the public policy, governmental affairs front. But I think, you know, folks like you and others will judge after a year or two. And from my standpoint, I just feel very fortunate that the organization is in as great a shape as it is to go forward and deal with some of the issues we're going to confront.
Cirrus Design's Vision SJ50 single-engine personal jet offers exceptional fuel efficiency, flexible seating for up to 7, advanced avionics, and all the Cirrus safety features you expect, including the Cirrus airframe parachute system. With its detailed design, the Cirrus Vision is technologically advanced, yet engineered to be simple to fly, to allow owner pilots more lifestyle pursuits than any other personal aircraft. Learn more about the Vision SJ50 at cirrusdesign.com.
Everybody finds their own way of doing things, and everybody brings a skill set to the organization. I think what the members should be pleased to know is that behind Phil Boyer and now behind me as the new president, there is a very strong team of people. In Frederick, Maryland, and in Washington, D.C., and with our insurance agency out in Wichita, Kansas, there's a very strong professional group of people that are going to sustain and build on this organization. And I hope certainly to be able to build on the very strong foundation Phil is leaving. It's something I certainly look forward to. We did a little work on election night a few days ago, where there was a national poll taken following the election, really to find out what voters were thinking when they went into the ballot booth on a lot of different issues. We asked just a few questions about general aviation. One of the best results I saw was that 60% of the voters think general aviation is an important part of our transportation system in the U.S. So actually, I think we're starting with a base out there that's stronger than a lot of people would believe. I do think we have to carry our message beyond just our membership of, you know, over 400,000 people. We have to carry our message out to the opinion leaders throughout the country and to the public. But I'm encouraged that when we looked at the people who vote, one of the messages we can tell elected officials is we're close to 2/3 of the people who think general aviation plays an important part. We know it does. The encouraging thing is, to me, a lot of the members of the general public think so too. Washington, D.C. is in many ways a small town. Those of us who have been involved in the administration or the Congress, as Republicans or as Democrats, get to know each other. We work together. We agree and disagree on certain issues. But that's what's important, that you've been engaged and you've built those relationships of trust. And so I'll take those relationships, that experience, along with a full complement of very skilled people at AOPA and among the consultants and others we work with, and we'll present our case, you know, strongly, clearly to Congress, to the administration, to the states, and really across the country. there's nothing really partisan about general aviation or air safety, and that's one of the messages we'll take. We have support among Democrats and Republicans. You know, we don't approach it from a partisan standpoint. We really approach it from a knowledge base and from an experience base in order to make the best presentation possible on behalf of general aviation and our members.
You've heard of this thing called WAAS, right? The Wide Area Augmentation System lets you fly GPS glide path approaches without relying on ground-based landing aids. No VOR, no ILS, no problem. Fact is, WAAS is so smart, it even knows what you're going to say next time you need it. And don't have it on board. Wah, wah, I want my WAAS now! I was really crying there for a second.
This is really my first opportunity, I suppose, to express it publicly, but we certainly congratulate President-elect Obama on an incredible victory. I do think that he has the ability to bring people together in some very important ways to tackle the economic issues. Probably, like most other Americans, those are first and foremost on our members' minds. I think regardless of whether McCain or Obama had been elected, they would both face this tough federal budget dilemma. And what we have to do is make our case that imposing additional costs on general aviation would not be a good thing for the country, would not benefit the business community or the tax base. And I suspect that fight will have to be joined again at some stage. But we'll do everything we can to educate the new administration as to how general aviation works, the value of general aviation, and hopefully hold off any unreasonable costs or further regulations. I'm very excited about it. I think that general aviation has, been important to so many of us for so many years. And I know that's been the case in my life. It has changed my life in many ways. And I do want to make sure that general aviation in the future is as exciting for our young people and for the rest of us as it has been these last 40 years for me. So I take the challenges very seriously. I take the mission very seriously. I look forward to making my contribution on this wonderful organization. Fortunately, we are supported by wonderful members, generous donors, and I think a lot of people who want to make sure we succeed.